That was Cardinal Vincent Nichols reflecting on the life of Pope Francis. Now on BBC One, it's time to join our colleagues with the news where you are.
Thanks, Nina, and a very warm welcome to BBC London. Good afternoon, I'm Thomas Magill. More now on the death of Pope Francis, and a special Mass of Remembrance has been taking place at St George's Cathedral in South London. Barry Caffrey has been speaking to some of those who were there. And Barry, what has just happened down there at the cathedral?
Good afternoon to you, Thomas. Well, you might be able to make out the Archbishop of Southwark, John Wilson, just behind me. The Mass got underway at 12:30 and finished about 10 minutes or so ago. I would estimate between 100 and 200 people were inside the church for the full Mass. But what struck me was the amount of people just coming here for a few minutes to enter the church and pay their respects. Now, as you can see, people are making their way out of the church now. I've been speaking to some of those churchgoers just to find out why it was important for them, to come here today, but also to get their thoughts and views on what the Pope meant to them.
He was our inspiration because he's our father. So there was a Mass 6 p.m. yesterday, which I was happy to come and honor his name and to show, that we love him no matter what.
I think he had some real important themes of mercy and hope, and I think that's the proper role for a pastor like him.
The Pope did pass on Easter Monday, following such an important part of the Catholic calendar. Just to sum up to me, your thoughts on that.
It's a blessing. I think that was if we can say, it's a good day to die. That would be, yes. It's like it's rising again, as Jesus did the day before. It's the same, yeah.
Well, a book of condolence is inside St George's Cathedral here at the moment that people are welcome to sign. Solemn Vespers will be taking place tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock, and there will be a full Requiem Mass at midday on Sunday. Just some of the church services that will be taking place across Catholic churches in London for this solemn period this week. Thomas.
Barry Caffrey, thank you. The Mayor is being urged to commission a review of crowd safety at the Notting Hill Carnival. London's Police and Crime Commissioner raised concerns about the Met's ability to keep visitors safe. The committee's chair, Susan Hall, wants a full review and guidance on the number of stewards required. Organisers say last year's event had 3,300 stewards on duty. Those responsible for policing say safety is a key priority.
What the committee wants is for obviously there to be more stewards around, the police to have more involvement on how the stewards perform, because last year they had to step in on numerous occasions to try and reduce the density of the party goers, if you like, and in some instances got very, very hairy.
This obviously is a big, important event in the year, and that's why I think there's already been reviews, lessons being learnt as a result of what happened. At last year's carnival, it's really important that that takes place, and it's really important that all events in the capital are safe.
The family of a 21-year-old man who was killed a decade ago have made a fresh appeal for help to find those responsible. Ole Rajay was stabbed and shot while cycling on the East Surrey Grove estate in Peckham in April 2015. Ole's family say even the smallest piece of evidence could help.
To many, this might feel like another senseless crime in London, but to us it's our reality. Grief is something that we've been living with for the last 10 years, and we will continue to do so until justice is served.
Hammersmith Bridge has reopened after a £2.9 million investment that's seen new decking and separate cycle and pedestrian lanes installed. It was closed to traffic in 2019 after cracks were spotted in the structure, and vehicles have been banned ever since. Michael Mackenzie reports on this latest development.
Yay! Back on the bridge!
Hammersmith Bridge closed back in 2019 when the 138-year-old structure started to have cracks. It did reopen to pedestrians and cyclists, but over the weekend, a brand new £2.9 million cycle lane was opened.
It's so wonderful. It's so nice to have the bridge open, that we have access over to Barnes. The dogs love it. They can run freely. People can run and the bicycles don't interfere. It's safer.
Oh my God, it's amazing. I just love it. I can walk every day here because I love it so much.
Seems like it's just a crazy amount of money, right? Like, I'm sure there's loads of work underneath reinforcing it that's gone into it that we don't know about. But yeah, it seems like a crazy amount of money and we're still not even allowed to drive over it.
Do you think it'll ever reopen to vehicles?
Yes, I think it will.
I wouldn't like to be reopened for vehicles, so fingers crossed it would never be.
Do you think it'll ever reopen to vehicles?
I hope not.
There are 3 new lanes here on Hammersmith Bridge. We've got 1 here for the pedestrians, and then we've got another 2 here for the cyclists and people who use e-bikes and e-scooters. Hammersmith and Fulham Council have spent a total of £48 million restoring and making the bridge safe, but it's still unclear as to when the bridge will finally open to vehicles. Michael Mackenzie, BBC London.
The 45th London Marathon takes place this Sunday, and among the 56,000 people set to take part are 6 men who have run every single one of them. Among them is Bill O'Connor from North West London, who will turn 80 just days after the race. Chris Slegg has been to meet him.
But there's surely a sight that quickens the pulse of even the most seasoned distance runner.
The start of the very first London Marathon way back in 1981. Somewhere in that heaving mass, 6 men who have taken part every year since. Among them, adopted Londoner Bill O'Connor, who moved here from New Zealand in the 70s.
Tell me, how old were you when you ran your first London Marathon, and how old are you now going into your 45th?
I think I was 35 then, and I'm 79 now. I'll be 80 in a couple of weeks' time.
And has it got harder?
It's got slower.
It was after the 15th marathon in 1995 that organisers guaranteed a lifetime place to anyone who had finished them all. There were 42 then. Now, there's 6.
How many more do you think you've got left in you?
Well, I've got this far. I'd like to do another 5 if I could to get to 50, but I'm not sure. We'll have to take it year by year now as we go. But it's amazing to think the course is still basically the same course that we started out in 1981. I can remember when we came over Tower Bridge and turned right to go out towards the east land of London, there was nothing out there. There was just derelict land. You could have bought the lot for a couple of quid, I think.
Always there to support Bill, wife Tricia.
It's amazing, absolutely amazing. At his age, taking it on, I think, is wonderful. And being part of the ever-present group has been a very important part of it all.
Of the 44 medals laid out in front of you, what's your favourite one?
It's probably this one here. It's a copy of the very first one. The first one was a little coin, like a 2p piece, but we could actually get these as well on the after the marathon to buy them as souvenirs. It's got the map on the back of it, of the course, which popped up with some of the other medals later on.
What is it that makes the London Marathon so special?
It's got an atmosphere of its own, the friendship, the friendliness of it all, and you know it's going to be a great day regardless of the weather, plus of course the huge crowds that turn up every year.
Chris Slegg, BBC London.
Good luck to Bill and good luck to everyone. That takes us to the weather with Corsair.
Hello there, good afternoon. Well, for the rest of this week, it's pretty changeable. There is some mixed weather in store, but for the time being, it is largely fine and dry out there. We've had some decent spells of sunshine further to come this afternoon, but there is the chance we could see just 1 or 2 isolated showers. But it's dry for most of us, with some patchy clouds, some sunshine around, and temperatures reaching around the mid to high teens quite widely, maybe up to 17 or 18 Celsius with a bit of a breeze. Now for this evening, any showers tend to fade away. It's dry with clear skies, but overnight we have this band of rain arriving in, and this rain could be heavy in places by the early hours, and temperatures tonight milder than last night, 7 or 8 Celsius. So this rain will still linger for a time during tomorrow morning before it gradually clears away. Into the afternoon, it should become a bit drier and brighter, but there will be some showers still around, some cloud around as well, and temperatures tomorrow reaching around the mid-teens. Looking further ahead, and for Thursday, for Friday, it does become largely dry. There may be some mist, some low cloud around in the mornings, but we are expecting some further rain to perhaps arrive by the time we look ahead to the weekend. So a mixed bag, as I've said. There will be some drier weather today, at least for the rest of this afternoon. And then for tomorrow, some rain clearing to some brighter spells. Thursday, Friday, mostly cloudy, but some sunny spells into the afternoon.
And that's it from the whole team here in London. Of course, there's much more on the BBC News app and on our 6:30 programme tonight with Riz, how Londoners have been reacting to the death of Pope Francis and the plans for his funeral on Saturday. You can also check out BBC Radio London for regular bulletins. Let's go back now to Nina for the rest of the BBC News at 1.